All right, Chase, I hope you have a plum crushed velvet suit on because only the coolest people who have the coolest show in the heat of summer can get by with wearing crushed. Was it crushed velvet? It looked like a couch. Jeff Keighley looked like a couch on Friday night.
He's a comfortable man. He likes to drape himself in velvet, and like George Costanza before him, who could blame him?
He had a pretty big moment this past week. Summer Games Fest seems to be growing. Chase, there was over 1,000.
The only game in town. Well, that's not true.
He's got a fucking. He's got a racket. He's got both of them. He's got the only two. I hope you like Jeff Keighley as much as you like video games because that's the only way to get this moving forward.
I don't. That's the problem. Is I don't like Jeff Keighley as much as I like video games.
Chase, this is a weird moment in time for a lot of reasons. We've got over 1,000 video games that we have to get through in an hour.
Yeah, no problem.
No problem, because we can barely do it with 20. I am shocked that there are over 1,000 trailers of games across a bunch of events. Like there were how many different ones? At least 20, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21.
Was that just going off the Summer Games Fest schedule?
I think there's a few more that aren't on their schedule that are just like, hey, this little indie thing is doing its own moment of summer. Like what used to happen when E3 and all those were going on. Like people would, some of the biggest games talked about weren't even fucking shown. And
well, yeah, when the E3 days, I mean, that was a lot less, hey, we have streaming presentations. Well, at least the beginnings of E3, we certainly didn't have streaming presentations, but you'd have your big press conferences, and then there would just be other stuff on the floor that your gaming outlets would have to cover piecemeal. And now I guess this is better that we have all these discrete or distinct shows and streams that have a bunch of different things. So it gives more opportunities for that kind of press conference style. Hey, we're going to throw 30 games together and show it within an hour or two. And I guess that's okay. But man, there are so many shows. I kind of wish that they would. I understand that this is like the week all the big video game announcements are happening in a very E3 way, but I think I would watch more of the Latin American game show if it took place, 5 weeks from now, instead of trying to compete at the same time that I'm watching all of these other giant long live streams. It's kind of too much.
It's what's too much is being married to an amazing woman whose birthday is always during Summer Games Fest, which means that whole weekend is going to be celebrating my wife and doing things with friends and family. So I was desperately trying to keep up and works at a click.
I'll tell you the real pain is like being best friends with somebody whose anniversary is during my birthday, and it's like, well, why don't I ever get to celebrate like this?
I don't know why you weren't my friend earlier.
It's bullshit. Yeah,
if
only I married you instead.
Yes, if only you did.
We would have fixed everything.
So I think I tried to catch up. I have not watched everything, and the way that we're going to do this is, if you're looking for a reaction to a lot of this, you're probably not going to get it here. We have a lot of decades of gaming behind us, and that's going to come in handy this year because there's a lot of stuff that's old that is new again. But we're going to talk about some stuff that stood out to us and what we did get to see. I've got a little thing to try and show some trailers and help us see what's going on with it. So we'll have a visual element. If you're listening to this, just know that there is a VOD that you can find on our YouTube page that will have some sort of video to accompany our conversation. So we've got trailers for a few of these, not all of them. Some of the big shows are there. We're not going to be really diving too much into anything Xbox. Like maybe we'll speak to the company and what their structure looks like for an event like this, but Chase, do you want to talk about the BDS movement really quick and why we're going to be not covering all the stuff there?
Yeah, it's still just difficult for me as somebody who has participated in the BDS. I forgot what the letters stand for: divest and sanctions, boycott, divest, and sanctions. There you go. of just Microsoft continues to help Israel in the things that are going on in Gaza, and the BDS movement is saying, hey, here are some targeted things that we are trying to do to send Microsoft a message, and one of those targeted things is Xbox and canceling Game Pass subscription and not doing free advertising for Xbox if possible, and not covering their games if possible. It's a personal choice for everybody. It's a personal choice that I've made. It's a personal choice that Bobby has not made. We're dealing with it and figuring it out. But it does affect my ability to talk about some of these things, which affects the show generally. I will say with this episode, outside of the Xbox stuff more generally, the way that we've done this kind of thing in the past, I feel like we have tried to cover all the shows and all the big stuff. And there's a part of me, I think it's after we just have done so many monthly previews that there's like, hey, why do we need to talk about all the big stuff? Why don't we just talk about the stuff that matters to us? And I think that's a better solution, especially when there are 1,000 fucking video games.
Well, not only that, we do cover. We've got a couple things that we do. Monday nights, we traditionally stream a game, and we do a lot of coverage for the Steam Next Fest. There's a bunch of trailers that they've been doing since people can't go to all these events any longer, and developers are just able to interact with their communities through Discord and others. So I'm sure we'll stream some demos. I'm sure there's going to be stuff on Next Fest. As Chase mentioned, we do the monthly preview. There's a lot that we do to keep you abreast of all the comings and goings. So this is more of just like, what did you enjoy? What was interesting to you? Like, was there anything that you hoped for that came? Was there any surprises that you walked away with? Like
I've got over 17 video games that I specifically want to talk about, which we are not going to get to all of those. I understand that.
Sure.
And I'm sure, Bobby, you have a list that's just as long, if not longer. And so I want to give us as much time as possible to talk about those instead of having to feel like we need to talk about the Tomb Raider 1's getting a remake. And I'm like, totally. I guess that's fine, but I don't give a shit about it. And why should we have to talk about it?
And if there's a game that we don't talk about that you're like, fuck those guys, they should talk about, The Lost Wild. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. Like, it's not that we don't care about it. It's just that we didn't see it as important to talk about in a limited time as some of the other stuff. So I've got, we don't have an order to go into this, but I think the kickoff for the week was PlayStation. They had their state of play. This was on Tuesday of last week. Yeah. Going into the big weekend activities. This was the longest state of play in a while. I think it clocked in over an hour, which is really lengthy for one of those. And I feel the general vibe was positive on what was shown here. I think that there was some surprises, for me at least. But was there anything from Sony that you wanted, you got, or interested in that you didn't know about?
I had 3 games from State of Play that interested me. One of them is Dynasty Warriors 3 Remastered, so that almost doesn't count. But we did get a brand new trailer, and it did teach me a couple things that we didn't know beforehand. And one of those is that the voice cast is the same. It's the same voice track.
That's something that you were hoping for, correct?
Yes. Yeah. So like you get to hear Zhao Yun say, "We have to defeat Cao Cao," which is not how you say that guy's name. But so I went back and I watched some cutscenes from the original Dynasty Warriors 3. I was like, those are the same voice tracks. So I'm sure they just cleaned them up. So a lot of this stuff really does feel like, hey, we are taking that original game. And in terms of gameplay stuff, they did show some new things here with this kind of dodging, evading mechanic that was not in the original game. And I'm sure some of the maps are changed, but it seems like there's a lot of that stuff that is actually pretty faithful to what that Dynasty Warriors 3 was. And it made me kind of even more excited for this than I was beforehand. I'm pretty impressed with what I saw.
And that's coming out October 1st. Did we know the release date going into this?
I don't think we did. So it's October 1st. Sorry, Bobby, if you were planning on getting it for me for my birthday, but I have pre-ordered it. I don't pre-order games, but I pre-ordered this one.
Okay.
So
one less thing to worry about.
You'll have to find something else, but you can still ride the elephants. It's so good. I'm so excited for this.
Now there wasn't any other places this was shown, right? Like this was Okay.
No.
All right.
But like Koei Tecmo and Omega Force like have a website now that has like a bunch
Okay.
of other stuff that you can go and check that stuff out. But
Cool.
I liked what I saw there. I was interested a little bit in Ace Combat 8, Wings of Theve. Theve.
That I'll tell you what, that thing. I'm not a big fan of the series. I don't have anything against it. But
I've never played one.
Yeah.
And I don't know how they play, and I don't know if I would like them. But it looks ridiculous. It looks like some Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Here's some ridiculous army bullshit that's happening. Except you're in fighter jets, and I kind of want to play it.
Look. I populated this list here off of somebody's very public Reddit. They had every game and trailer on a Google sheet. Whoever has this sheet is clearly very excited about Ace Combat 8 Wings of Theve because they have at least a dozen exclamation marks on
those
this.
aren't our exclamation points?
No, those aren't from us, unfortunately. So they're very excited. Whoever you are, if you're watching the show, congrats, we covered it. But I think this was a hell of a preview. Like it really did a good job of conveying exactly that. Like flight looked fun in this. The fighting looked cool. Graphics obviously looked very pretty. So
like it was hard to tell what was gameplay though. Like I don't know if I really saw like what I'm actually doing. I mean, obviously I'm flying planes in the video game and they've made seven of these before. I'm sure it functions very similar. But I didn't really get to see a whole lot of gameplay, so I don't know what I'm doing. But
these are just sniper elites for normies. That's all this is.
Sure. The worst part of that trailer, though, is it comes out October 2nd. I'm going to be busy playing Dynasty Warriors.
Motherfucker, we're going to talk about what the hell's going to be happening because October and September can fuck right off. Also, it was made aware to me that May, the end of May to be specific, was the initial release for Grand Theft Auto 6. And when we did our June preview, like, wow, June's light. Well, that's by design because they were trying to get out of the way of that. But here, now, the funny thing is that unspoken game that was not shown at all, but was very present when you saw all these dates because it was a lot of Septembers and a lot of Octobers and then February. So we'll see.
The last thing I saw from PlayStation that I was pretty interested in was Kamuri. Which is from the I forgot what she used to work at Bethesda, right?
This is that really awesome chick.
She like came
Ghostwire Tokyo, right?
Yes, that's right. And she came out and was very excitable and became kind of memed and was very fun. So she's here showing off this new game at a new studio, and it's a 3-player co-op yokai fighting game that has. My one question is this a loot game? Is this a live service game? And I couldn't tell.
Is it multiplayer?
It is multiplayer. It is up to 3-player co-op, but it's a lot of like you customize your own character here. And
I mean, if it's PvE co-op, I'll play the shit out of this.
Yeah, this seems like something that we might enjoy playing together. Yeah. And it has some really cool freedom of movement. And I think there was something really expressive about this. It was new. It was interesting. And it's coming out in 2027. I like all those things. It's something new and different. And I don't have to play it for a while. It's off my plate for a bit. So
but she seems to have, she had that, Ghostwire had some shooting in it. And she seems to be able to evoke a feeling. So yeah, I'm down to see what this is about.
Yeah. Anything from PlayStation you were excited about?
Yeah, I am a sucker for Wolverine.
Yes, I know. Oh, okay. About
Wolverine. Wolverine is probably like one of the first like non-Batman Superman comic book characters that like I got into. Like I really loved the animated X-Men series. I thought Wolverine was just a very cool character. And I've played enough of their Spider-Man games to know that like that they fucking get it. Insomniac gets it. They do a good thing with it. I don't know if this is just going to be fine. I think it'll be fine. I think I'll feel probably a little bit more into this than Spider-Man. But this is way more linear. It's not open world. It seems like it's going to be a story. I'm interested in what they're going to do here because it's not Charles Xavier's gifted X-Men mansion is not a thing yet.
Yeah.
So I find that to be interesting. I really think that the way that they're handling Wolverine's healing sounds pretty cool, and I think it looks even better how he'll be fucked up. I mean, it's a very gory game, by the way.
I mean, they showed that off originally with that, like with all the blood and stuff, and him putting his thwips into people's chins.
Yeah.
But there is, man, that is the one thing that kind of turns me off about the game. And I know you can actually turn it off in the options, which I think is good. I mean, you're not gonna get rid of some of these fucking visceral ass animations. But I will say it is probably one of the more interesting games to me, just because it is more of a linear story based thing and less of an open world, which you've heard me bitch about in the past. So I mean I'm with you. And
Mystique,
I like some of the stuff
Jean Grey, Logan. I don't know if there's anybody else shown in this trailer, right?
In this trailer, I don't think so. I think they've talked about Sabretooth before.
Sure.
And you think Gambit's going to be in here?
I think you're going to end up. I have a feeling that they're going to bring in more X-Men stuff in the future. So I would imagine you get Charles at the end of this thing.
That would make sense.
So I will be playing this. There's not a ton coming out this year from Sony first parties that I'm super into right now, but this one is one that I thought looked cool. So September 15th, it's going to have to fit in around a lot of stuff. But hopefully it won't be a super long game. Like, I would love for this to be like a 9 to 15 hour game. Like, I think that would be perfect for this. I have No Rest for the Wicked. They announced their 1.0 release date. I think that's more interesting. It's coming out in October also. I thought Kamuri looked really cool. Bancho, I love Dave the Diver.
I do know that.
I don't know what this will do, because there's also going to be a big expansion for Dave the Diver, the jungle one.
Yeah,
but
I mean, this feels like it's a very different game.
It does, and that's the thing that, like, I want to see a little bit more of what this is going to be day to day. But that one has me curious. I know that you heard me talk about Dune Awakening. I'm excited for a single player mode on that. I might go back and check it out. But for me, from PlayStation, the big one here was God of War La Faye. And so this was this got a lot of people upset, Chase, if you can imagine. Because
woman?
Because a woman. Yep.
Oh, okay.
That's the bearing the lead here. But this is the next mainline God of War game. This is still following the events of the latest, I guess it's a trilogy now, with the Norse mythology. Because this is a third game.
It's tough to say trilogy, because this takes place like during the events of the other God of War games, right?
Allegedly it takes place at least during the first one, for sure.
Yeah, because I think even one of the developer or leads, director maybe, said like, hey, remember that thing that was unexplained in, like, there was like a big clap of thunder, or there's like a horn that blew at one point in the first game. You're like, we never heard like what happened there. And it's like, I'm guessing it's her. Like, she caused that to happen. Yeah.
So this is the events of 2018's God of War is Kratos and Atreyu taking their mother's ashes up to the mountaintop of Jotunheim, I think. Sure. Long story short, this game is taking place while you're playing as Faye, but it looks like her full name is La Faye, in some world of in between. And I think that's probably one of the areas I'm most fascinated by, is like, what is this realm? What is her purpose in this realm?
Because it's not Valhalla. Like,
no. There's like Mongolian death lords here. Like, it seems to be like where gods go when they die, or the in between. So I have a feeling she's going to be fighting her way out of whatever this is against a bunch of other gods, which is in the spirit of what Kratos had been doing in a lot of these games. But the internet is obviously upset because it's not big beefcake Kratos and no more machismo, macho male energy. But if you played the games and you listen to the lore, she is a fucking warrior. She is to be revered. She is fucking tough. And you see a lot of that here but there's also just some goofiness. Like there's a fucking ribbon on a sword that can talk to you in a cube of jelly that's Jack Quaid.
And I don't remember how. I mean, I don't know a whole lot about Norse mythology, so but I know there are some things that are certainly pulled from that, and I don't know how fully those things are pulled from. But can I tell you something really fucking stupid
Sure.
that happened? So I did a dumb thing like I do every few months, and I reviewed every single Marvel superheroes Magic the Gathering card for that was at Common, and was also just looking at other Marvel superheroes cards. And one of them was called Loki Laufey Son. And somebody was talking about, oh, I didn't know Loki had a last name, and I was like, I know now, Laufey, the son of Laufey, like that's from this.
Yeah,
that's Atreus. Atreus, yeah, like okay, hey, I get that. I understand that reference.
Outside of this being a very contained story, I can imagine there's probably some cool stuff with God of War in a Magic deck. Like you could probably do some very cool stuff with.
He's already got a card.
There you go.
They did the secret layer for a bunch of PlayStation things, so Kratos has a card already.
This looks really exciting. Like I think this looks really cool. I want to see more about the story. I'm invested in the world that they've built. Like I think Santa Monica has delivered some very compelling, very cool, linear, narrative-driven stories. They look great. They have amazing acting in it. Deborah Ann Wool is a fantastic actress. I'm excited to see what she does as a main character here. I'll be checking this one out for sure. This is 2027, I think, is what.
Yeah.
What? But
my favorite thing about this though is that people were calling Kratos the sad dad game.
Yeah.
People are calling this the glum mum game.
Glum mum's pretty good.
I thought that was fantastic.
Pretty good. Where do you want to pop over to next? What's on your list?
I mean, technically next was the Summer Games Fest and that big show. Do we want to start with the showstopper like that? I mean, we still have Nintendo to finish.
No, yeah, man, that's totally
big. So we had Studio MDHR show off hey, we got puppets, so Jeff Keighley was interested. But two, they showed off a couple things here. Well, they showed off one thing and they said another thing. So we know that there is another hand-drawn Cuphead game in the works. But I think they did a great
job with this, by the way.
Yeah, this was a fun trailer. I enjoyed this. But the other thing they showed during this was also for Mighty Cuphead Adventure, which is an 8-bit Cuphead game that looks like it's just kind of like a side-scrolling shooter platformer thing. But I was just really impressed with this trailer as well, that they went out of their way to make it look like an old trailer and give it the the CRT fuzz to it.
It was great.
The game itself actually just looks like it's Master System quality, like not even NES quality. And it's kind of cool how deep they're going. I remember having this kind of discussion when we were talking about, well, not necessarily you and me, but when Shovel Knight first came out, and we're talking about, wow, I can't believe somebody made a brand new NES game. And then people were going, it's not exactly that, because they have parallax scrolling and here's a bunch of stuff that the NES couldn't do. Apparently, they are actually this game could run on a Master System.
That's great.
And that's nuts. That's a nuts thing to be able to do. And I applaud them for doing it. So I'm kind of excited about this one. I don't think they give a date for that.
No, this one's TBA, and I think. Well, I just wonder if we'll get Mighty Cuphead before Cuphead 2. I think we will.
I imagine. I mean, if they showed this one and they didn't show anything for Cuphead 2, then that makes sense to me.
Yep. What else stood out to you?
Gen Atlas.
Yeah, baby.
Project Robot. This is from the creator of the Ico trilogy, Ico, Shadow of the Colossus, and The Last Guardian.
What a fucking mood.
This, just from a trailer standpoint, this was the best trailer of any game that I saw. It has some real atmosphere to it. It felt the most cinematic and filmic of any of the trailers I saw. Not a ton of gameplay that we saw in here, really.
No, I don't know. That's the thing. Maybe a little bit of both, but
sure. I mean, there's one part where it's like the person you play as is on a turret mode, and a bunch of things are following it that you're shooting. But mostly, it seems it reminded me a lot of Death Stranding, in that it's a very desolate world that you're exploring. I like this head thing that you're flying.
Yeah, this thing's fucking awesome.
Yeah, and it's like this robot head seems to connect to robot bodies that you can.
It's
then
got some near
use
automata
in the
shit to
world.
it too.
Absolutely, sure. There's absolutely some automata in that, and yeah, I thought this was awesome. And they didn't give a date for this one either, right? So
Nope.
it'll be done when it's done. But I'm looking forward to playing it.
Yeah, this is just going to be fucking cinema. This is going to be really cool.
The scale of some of this shit is incredible.
And I think that I can just already imagine like the score for a game like this and like what you're going to hear playing. Like this is not like Oscar bait, but like legitimate. Like this is Game of the Year material already.
Yeah.
Like that's what they're swinging for on this one. It's really cool. Jen Atlas is a great name too. I think this is a cool trailer.
Agreed. I thought this was rad.
Well, there's a few here that like I line up with you on. Like Jen Atlas looks cool. The Cuphead stuff looks good. I have a little story for you about Resident Evil Code Veronica. So
Okay.
briefly, I had a Dreamcast. My friend and we were playing like I had played Resident Evil, but this was the farthest I had gotten into Resident Evil. And we were nearing, this is a double disc for the Dreamcast. And my best friend in grade school, he had an older brother by like 4 years from us. And this guy was like, him and his brother were like 2 to 3 inches taller than I was, Chase. They were huge.
It's hard to believe that anybody could.
I know. They were massive. But we were playing this, and I remember his brother came in to like make fun of us. And he walked around the corner, and we just heard this loud crunch. And he had stepped on my Code Veronica case and snapped disc 2 in half.
Oh no.
So I just played Code Veronica up to the end of disc 1, and that was the end of Code Veronica for me. And so there's a part of me that's just like, you can finish the fight now. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. Like, I don't have a strong desire to do that, but I know I'll have access to this. And there's a part of me that wants to just like find a way to skip all the shit and just get to the point where I can try and remember it. But yeah, Code Veronica, very interesting. The Last Ronin had my attention.
Sure. New platinum game.
Yeah, this is a platinum game. This is also a really cool and dark take on the Turtles. If you're unfamiliar with The Last Ronin, all but Raphael has been killed.
Michelangelo.
I thought you played as Raphael.
It's Mikey.
Is it Mikey?
I looked it up specifically because I didn't know anything about The Last Ronin, and it's Mikey.
Interesting.
Which is very funny that he is the one who's left, and he's like, well, I guess I got to be a badass now.
Well, yeah, I think that that makes more sense then. So this is a Ronin story where Mikey will have one of the weapons of each of his brothers with him. And so you're going to have 4 weapons that you can go between, maybe a bit more, I don't know. And it's going to be a dark revenge story. It's the darkest the Turtles have been.
You're fighting Shredder's granddaughter or something. Yeah.
Yes. The other one that stood out to me, and I thought this was a wild trailer, was Crossfire.
Yeah.
I
was surprised by how interested I was in it. Like, this doesn't normally seem like a thing for me.
Totally.
Because it seems a little scary. It also seems a little co-op-y, although it is not. Like, despite all the co-op stuff that you're seeing here of 2 people working together through the whole fucking video game, this is a single player only video game.
Yep.
Very cool.
Yeah. And there's some pedigree behind this, right? Like, people who made this have collectively, they've been a part of some other shit. I think there's some like ex-Naughty Dog people here on this one, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, it was like some. I think it was some Call of Duty people. It was some Naughty Dog people. There were some big ones.
This trailer's cool though. It looks like it's going to be a weird game in a cool way. It reminded me a lot of oh my god, why can't I think it starts with an A? That Natalie Portman movie.
Oh yeah, Annihilation.
There's some Annihilation vibes I got from it.
Mm-hmm.
This trailer was in a lot of different places, but I'm excited for the next Control game. We got a pretty good look at Star Wars Galactic Racer, and I walked out of this liking all that I saw here. I got really jazzed by those pod racers.
It's the second best Star Wars game that was shown at this show.
I agree with you on that statement too.
But yes, it looked pretty good.
I'm glad that we get a little bit more narrative with this. There's another game that I thought was cool that we'll get to talk about that has a narrative story around racing mechanics, but This is from a lot of ex-Burnout developers, and we've covered that game quite a bit in the last few weeks with our Thors. Like, Burnout makes good, like, those are good games. Yep. Star Wars is good shit. Pod racing's fun. Like, all those things make me believe this could be a really cool game. So I thought that was cool, but I also think this was the second best Star Wars thing that we saw.
Yeah, Zero Company just looks really, really strong. I will say, I mean, you know, the part that I booed at the very end.
Anakin.
Yeah, of course. Like, why do we need to get the Skywalkers involved in this bullshit? But I liked what I saw. It sounds like you have a lot more customization over your crew, and not just customization of what your crew does, but of who is involved in your crew. Like, it sounds like you can choose to have multiple Jedis as part of your crew, or go without them at all and find more droids or something like that. So the idea that there's lots of characters to be able to pull from and make a squad was really exciting to me.
I'm not going to watch the trailer. I thought that the Monster Hunter stuff looked cool, but the one trailer I am going to show, because I thought this looked really slick, was that Hot Wheels Infinite Rush. I thought this looked really cool.
Those Hot Wheels games have been doing stuff. Like,
I've not played them.
Been kind of impressed by them. Neither have I, but I just have heard positive stuff about them.
Yeah, this thing had a good look to it. The tracks and all that, and like in the real world, I thought looked really cool. But briefly, Clutch was the other game. So this is Maverick's game. This is a new one. I don't know what this did. This do anything for you?
I got to be honest, I don't remember this game.
Okay, so this one looks like it starts off where it feels like, oh, they're just making like an F1 movie, the game, but it looks like you're going to go across different forms of racing, like down to street racing. And this is a very like narrative story. It looks high stakes. It looks very prestige TV. The racing though looks pretty fucking cool. It looks like there might be, if I'm getting what I got from the trailer, you're an up and coming Formula driver or some sort of NASCAR. I don't think it's NASCAR, but you get brought in to maybe do some not so great stuff. And that's where the street racing comes into it and the night scene. And you're kind of living this double life and moonlighting in both areas. But I thought this thing looked cool. It gave me kind of early 2000s racing vibes, which I was really into.
I mean, this is basically what Need for Speed Heat
did. Yes.
Where it was like a daytime driving and then daytime like real racing, nighttime street racing. But you know, that was also a Need for Speed game that was not playing this in a cinematic way like this game is, and there's something kind of impressive about this for sure. Anything else from Summer Game Fest for you? God, I guess I gotta talk about fucking Gundam.
Yeah.
Gundam Rogue Orbit. I didn't like this trailer. As a big fan of Gundam, I don't really like this at all. This is Gundam versus Aliens, which there's only been one show that has done this in all the Gundam shows out there. There's only one that deals with aliens, and I think it's lame. I think the Gundam itself doesn't look very good, but it's Gundam, and it's also looks like a Dark Souls kind of action game. Like, it's Bandai Namco, so like they also have their hands into the Dark Souls, into the Armored Core scene. So I wonder if this is trying to like thread the needle between Armored Core and Dark Souls. I don't know if I'm gonna like that, but it's Gundam, so people are like, "Hey, did you like the Gundam thing?" And I'm like, fuck, I don't know.
I mean, I guess there is a limit to your sickness.
Oh yeah, no, there's Gundam stuff I don't like for sure. Speaking of the limits of my sickness, Bobby, let's talk about the 800-pound gorilla in the room.
Let's do it.
We have a name. We have a date. Or we don't have a date. We have a window, but we have a name. Final Fantasy VII Revelation, which is a terrible name.
Reunion was right there.
Reunion was right there. The game is the series is about Reunion. The Final Fantasy VII stuff. It's like an Advent Children all the time. Revelation is such an overused name.
There's so many games.
Other game.
There's so many games. I can't remember
what other game from this. I don't think it was at Summer Games Fest, but it was just in this week of games. There was another thing called Revelations. I'm like, God damn it. We had Assassin's Creed Revelations. Yep. We had a Resident Evil Revelations. Like, that's such a boring fucking title. I'm so pissed. It really should have been Reunion, but none of that really matters. the game looks like the game. I don't think there was anything crazy in this trailer at all, but it just looks like Final Fantasy.
I didn't see any mini games that had me excited.
There will 100% be mini games in this, Bobby. They just didn't show it. But you do have playable Sid and playable Vincent, and so you will get the whole crew here. Notably, they didn't show one character who didn't make it ? After the last game. We also
she was dead in the first game, like the original game, correct? Like she does not come back.
She dies, and she's like kind of a ghost thing that you feel her presence, but no, she is gone. She is no longer a party member. Okay. And I imagine they're going to do the same thing here, where she is no longer a party member, but affects some things. But it's also weird that last game. I mean, I'm not really spoiling it for you. I think I've already talked to you about this before anyway, but like Zack shows up and you barely know who Zack is anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But like Zack shows up and you play as Zack at the end of that game, and it's like, is Zack in this game? I don't know. They didn't show anything with Zack for this trailer, so I don't know. It
made me want to finish it. It made me want to finish it. I need to finish it because I'm going to play this one.
Yeah.
There's a couple things that stood out to me that looked interesting. One, I don't remember like clothing having a lot in the other ones.
No, this is a new thing. The fit system, which it's a stupid name.
It's dumb. But you could also like take jobs in the older Final Fantasy games. Like you could go in to be a red mage or whatever, right?
Yes and no. It depended on what materia you put in. So you could put in the materia and kind of build a class that way. Not put on a different outfit and have a job system. So I do kind of like that. Hey, Tifa can use these other kinds of moves if you put her in this outfit instead. I think that's fun as a mechanic here. I think it'll work. I think the game will be fun. It will play great. I still think the story will be really boring. And not boring's the wrong word, but I think it will be really tame compared to what they could do. I was still so excited about the idea of the end of the first game, that you've broken the chains and now anything could happen, and we've altered the world, and then nothing really changes in the second game except for the ending, and the ending is stupid, and now we have this game. I don't know. I think the story will let me down, but the rest of the game will probably be very good.
Yeah, I've got the PlayStation Portal charged up. I've been thinking about trying to. That's the thing. Like I just can't passively do it. But I'm making it
so much fucking video game to play.
Well, the problem is I think what I'm going to do. This is not a problem. Hear me out. When we get to the end of the year, we have that lull. I think this is probably going to be sometime in February is when this game's going to come out. My goal is to finish what I have left during our winter break. That's when I'll play. That's when I will pick this back up and I will play through it. I will be ready to go and finish the final fight 7th time. And
they do have Zack in there. Like Zack was like on the image there. Zack's on the right. So Zack is shown.
They also stated that this is the first time that they're going to have a multi-platform launch, which I'm excited about. I'll be able to get this on PC rather than waiting a year.
You could get this on Switch too if you wanted to.
There's been Switch 2's playing a lot of these games very well. I don't know about this one, but
I'm sure it'll play fine. Neither of us are going to play it on Switch. Not even I would play that game on Switch, and I play everything on Switch.
Where are we hopping to next?
Spring 2027 for that. That'll be exciting. We'll play that. I mean, from there we can kind of go wherever. We had the Xbox showcase, the PC gaming show, all these.
I do want to show something at PC gaming show.
Yeah, me too. At least one thing.
Yeah,
or rather, two things.
You got it. So we got a hell of a surprise here. For anybody who's not aware, we are big fans of Fights in Tight Spaces. We have actually been able to hang out with James from Ground Shatter a couple times and play with some of his commentary. I would call them friends of the show. I chatted with James after the shadow drop of the sequel, 2 Fights, 2 Spaces, and congratulated him and the team. I'm in their Discord. They had a watch party. I told Chase, hey, there's something coming from Ground Shatter. I don't know what it's going to be. And it's a sequel to our game of the year from a few years ago. And this is coming after their follow-up, which was Nights in Tight Spaces. But
which
we've
was
got
interesting, but kind of a bit of a misstep and didn't really latch on to people. Then they ended up going back and making more DLC for the original Fights in Tight Spaces, and people really liked that, and we liked that too. And this seems like it's doing a good job of blending those two experiences into one another. So in here you have a lot of the colorful environments and things that you got from Nights in Tight Spaces that was kind of cool. I think as much as I like the gray box environment of the first game, there is something that feels
this looks
premium.
really good.
Yeah, it just does feel good. But the whole gimmick here, Bobby, if you want to talk about it.
It's multiplayer. You and I can play this game together, which I would love to do. Like,
yeah,
and
we'll
James
definitely do that.
Yeah, James said he'd like to stop by. I'm going to ask him to join us because you can have 3 players. So up to 3 people can be playing this. I've played it, Chase. I picked this up as soon as it became available.
Because it's available now. It's in early access now.
It's in early access right now. James and team are actively putting out patches for some stuff. There's been some good feedback from the community on it. There's some, the deck drafting's there. I have not gone through all the new stuff that they have with it, but it plays really good. The card designs look great. It is exactly what you would want from more Fights in Tight Spaces. I think it looks really cool. I don't know.
I don't want to keep being down on Nights in Tight Spaces. It feels mean to people we like. But the biggest thing with Knights that I had an issue with is now that you had multiple characters that you were dealing with, it was very overwhelming to have all 3 of those characters that you were playing with at the same time.
Yeah.
And for them to go, okay, we're going back to just one character, but now multiple people control their own characters, you kind of get the best of both worlds in that way of now we can do these coordinated attacks and things that you can do in Knights, but I really only have to focus on the things that I do. You focus on the things that you do. And it's just like the perfect marriage. This is so smart.
And I like the disarm stuff I've done, like where I got the knife and then the gun and got to it's been cool. So we are absolutely going to be doing more with this. We might have not maybe as much of a run, but we're going to try and do something with it for sure. So I was very surprised, and to have a shadow drop was even cooler. So
I thought at best, you were asking me, what could they possibly be showing? I was like, I don't know, just more DLC for Fights, which we'll love and have a great time with, but that's all I can think of. I don't think they'd show a new game. And no, they totally did. Like, this is a brand new video game, lots of cool stuff in there. I was impressed. Also at the PC gaming show, we got a new trailer for Windrunners, which I was like, oh, this looks really cool. And then I noticed it was already on my Steam wish list. And I went, oh, okay. I guess I still like that. Yeah. But, Vlambeer's not making a sequel to Luftrausers, so it's nice that somebody else is.
Let me find where there we go. This has a demo out right now too.
Yeah, I need to pick that up and try it. I know how it'll play. It'll play great, and I'll be excited.
It looks really slick.
Yeah, it looked great. And then there was another game at the PC gaming show, the Into the Wind. I thought kind of looked pretty good too. It was that's like an anime kind of Kiki's delivery service looking thing. But it also has some Death Stranding delivery vibes. I thought that was a pretty cool looking game too. So there are a couple of things from that show that I was excited by.
Let me make sure I did not skip anything I had on here before we get to the big one. Oh, Cassette Beast. I'm not gonna watch the trailer, but they've got a follow up to that coming out called Cassette Beast 2002.
New art style to it.
Yeah, I really did enjoy my time with that one, and I'd like to go back and see what they're doing with it because they added multiplayer to that game. Dave the Diver we talked about earlier. Dave the Diver in the Jungles here. Valheim got a 1.0 date. It's going to be coming out in September, which is terrible for a lot of people. But Valheim, I haven't touched it in a long time, thinking that we get to 1.0, and a lot of other Valheim likes have been out then, so we'll see. But
yeah, speaking of games you played a long time ago, this wasn't at the PC gaming show, but Persona 4 Revival finally got announced. We knew it was happening, but that's out there. That's coming.
That is going to be out February 28th. Yep.
I have February 18th, 2027.
I'm very excited. I think you and I talked about it. They did something with Persona 4 a couple years ago and brought it to more platforms.
Yeah. Like just ports of Golden, which is great. I'm as a person who just likes original Persona 4 and Golden, that's kind of the one for me. But I am excited for people like you who I think you tried to go play Persona 4 at one point.
I did.
You're like, I can't do this after playing Persona 5. And
Yep.
I get it.
Yep.
So I think this is a really good entry point for somebody like you to play a game like this and to know these characters and this stuff that was all
everybody
very
said that this is like the high water mark. Like everybody says Persona 4 is the best one. I love Persona 5.
I tend to agree with that. Yeah. Like five's good. I think there's a lot of cool stuff in 5, but I still think this cast of losers in 4 is my favorite group of dorks.
But I will be playing the shit out of this. Like I cannot wait to play this game. I've had an itch to. You don't know how many times I wanted to just fire up Royal and play that. But we also got, while we're on the Persona train, we got at least a title card chase for Persona 6.
We got fucking nothing.
I'm a little disappointed by how little we got from this, considering how the
biggest revelation from this is green.
That's true.
That's it. That's the color. Persona 3 was blue, Persona 4 was yellow, Persona 5 was red, and now they're like, it's green.
It's green.
Okay.
I guess you get like hands in this, right? Like you get to see some of their hands, if I'm not mistaken. Allegedly, like whatever they're calling this crew of losers, but
the fuck knows. It's whatever. I mean, I'll play the shit out of this when it finally comes out, but to announce it with this trailer that shows you fucking nothing.
Do you think we get this next year?
I
don't think they'll put 4 in this out in the same year.
I could see it being like December. I just throw it in at the end, November, December, something like that, holiday. But no, I don't think this will be out by like. I think we'll get a bigger extended trailer and gameplay stuff during Summer Games Fest next year, and knowing that this will come out.
Or maybe November, Game Awards.
That could be too. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Let's talk about Nintendo.
Yeah, let's talk about it. That was a hell of a thing. Even though we all obviously knew Nintendo was going to say something, they waited until 24 hours before.
I know.
Oh yeah. Oh, we're having a direct. You guys didn't know? Like, no, you assholes. Holy shit, they came out swinging, didn't they?
They did. What do you want to start? What do you want to start with here?
I mean, you were on it there in this last Orbitals is
something
man. I'm still really jazzed about. That is something I feel like you and I will need to play together. I don't know if that's going to be a Chase He Plays thing or just a Bobby and Chase play a video game together finally. But this seems like after playing what did we play? Split Fiction. Playing Split Fiction, this feels like up our alley, and I want to see this. And I also just think this game is incredibly gorgeous. I love this old anime art style that they've.
There was another game that had a very similar art style that was shown.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of it, but I know what you're talking about.
Vesalius or something like that. Start with a V. Anyway, this looks great. I think this is going to be awesome.
Yeah, agreed. I think that was really cool.
Speaking of games that we can play together,
what's that?
Oh, it's not. The trailer's not going to load. We got a date for a big walk.
Oh yeah, Big Walk, man.
8/4.
So good.
I think that we need to hit up some of our friends in the Discord and see if we can get a big walk going. I think that would be a fun thing to do.
Yeah, I mean I thought Peak was cool, but I think Big Walk is my perfect version of Peak, and that's the one I really want to play.
My wife is very excited about the Pocopia update.
Sure,
she plays that thing every day.
I don't necessarily like swimming. Well, I like swimming in real life. I don't like swimming in video games. So I'm not as jazzed about an underwater expansion. But sure, they're continuing to do more stuff with that game, and that's super smart because everybody seems to like it. They did it, Bobby. The one thing I wanted. Well, sorry, that actually.
Is this not it?
That actually describes two things that I was going to say. Yeah, we could start with this one. Muramasa, the Demon Blade, motherfucker, it's back!
You're finally getting this thing. Have you actually played this before?
Yes, I played this on my Vita. I didn't play the original Wii version, but I played Muramasa Rebirth on the Vita, and I absolutely loved that game. And as you've heard over the years, I've been chasing that high. Other games come out and I'm like, this looks like Muramasa, this looks like Muramasa, and those games always disappoint. And now they're just actually doing it. It's coming out to Switch. It's coming out everywhere, I'm pretty sure. I think it's a middleware game that's coming to PC, for God's sakes. That's exciting. And it looks like there's new campaigns and new things in this. So I am so jazzed. I was not expecting this announcement, but it was the best announcement I heard this entire show.
Well, we'll disagree on that, but I think that I think that this is exciting. I've heard nothing but good things about it. I have the Wii version of this on my Thor, but I actually think that I worked on getting this with a texture pack for you. I was gonna be like, hey, you want to play it? Here you go. But early 2027, don't know when that will be, but this is coming out at least on the Switch and the Switch 2, probably to other stuff as you called out.
This was my favorite announcement of everything, not just Nintendo, of the entire Summer Games Fest. I mean, I know it's a game that I've already played, and cheering for a port feels really weird. But one, this game just doesn't have a good modern way of playing it, and two, they are putting new content in a new campaign, so it does feel like there's.
Oh, we're going to be cheering about stuff we've played. Trust me.
Well, that's fair. There's certainly a lot of that happening.
Because the Star Fox got a demo, and I've played it.
Yeah.
Did you play this?
Not yet. I will.
It's good. It's fucking. I mean, obviously,
it's Star Fox 64. Of course, it's good. I know how Star Fox 64 plays.
I like what they're doing between the missions. That was really cool. The little bit you got of that, I thought was cool. The game looks beautiful. It runs really well on the Switch. I did not play it with the mouse. I played it with the Pro Controller, and that felt great. The character designs did not bother me the slightest. It all works in that world that you're playing in, and you just kind of forget about it. I was already really excited because we've talked about this being a fantastic video game that's been remade before, and we don't need this. But man, this was cool. I felt really cool playing Star Fox demo, and you should check that out.
I will definitely check it out because the demo is free. I don't want to pay money for this video game, but I will play a free demo. That's not a problem. I am excited that people are excited about Star Fox. That is nice that people are happy about Star Fox. Maybe it will convince Nintendo to make a new, real Star Fox game. That would be great.
Yeah. But we will have the full game out in 15 days. So just about 2 weeks. Depending on what's out there, I could see this being something we beat on a Monday night. We'll check that out. I don't know if there's anything else before that stood out to me.
So a couple of things, last things from Nintendo for me. August 27th is going to be a busy day. One, because Star Wars Zero Company comes out that day, but also they announced the release date for the Metal Gear Master Collection.
Oh, cool.
So that's when I get to play Peace Walker on my Switch as well. So that I'm excited to play. I'm excited to play all these PSP and Vita games on my Switch. That was the thing I was most excited about. What
about Fire Emblem?
Fire Emblem's pretty good.
You've talked about a few other things that I thought for sure this would take the cake.
This was the most excited I was going into.
Yeah, you wanted to get more of this, and you wanted a date, and you got both of those, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I got, and I think this looks pretty good. This trailer looks all right. There's this takes place on a different continent than Fogland, but it still takes place in the time period of Fire Emblem Three Houses. It seems like it's about 300 years ahead of time, based on some of the clock and calendar stuff in this game that they're showing off in the UI. I don't think any of these characters look particularly interesting to me in a way that some of the other Fire Emblem characters that we've gotten in the past handful of games have really felt, interesting or had something going for them. I think all of these look okay, but they all kind of just look a little generic to me. I like the voice acting. I like some of the stuff that's going on here. I'm sure there will be things that I will enjoy about the game. That part looked a little generic.
Do you think that you'll switch between these characters? Like, there's like 4 main characters, right?
I think because of the success they had with Three Houses, there are going to be 4 paths. You pick
one and go
play a whole path for that, and they're going to say, "Yeah, you get to play 4 campaigns." And if that's true, I just hope they're short, because
remember when me and Johnny were all going to play a path, and then Johnny got it, and he's like, "Oh fuck it, I'm playing this one," and then we didn't have those to talk about.
I think he picked the same one I was playing. It was like,
he did,
man. What are you doing?
Yeah,
and that's tough, because I've never gone back and played. I started to play one of the Edelgard path, but then stopped because, man, I really did not like going through the Garreg Mach Monastery stuff.
Oh yeah,
again. And it seems like from what we see here, they've streamlined that stuff a bit. We'll learn more as we go on, but I think there are some cool ideas that they showed off here. A lot of stuff where I go, ooh, is this person related to that person because their hair is very similar, and or they have this crest, and that crest was only part of this family, so I wonder if they're involved that way. And this guy with the sword here is from Fodlan, so it seems like he's brought over a crew to do stuff, so maybe he has a lot more attachment. I think there's some interesting stuff, and I'm doubly interested because I'm playing that ROM hack prequel right now.
Oh yeah,
The Life of Saros, which is still hard, but I'm still getting through, and that's been fun too. So I'm in a very Fodlan Three Houses mood, and I'm ready to play this when it comes out.
I really like Three Houses. I really disliked Engage. I'm hoping that there's something here for me because it feels like I just didn't like some of the characters in Engage.
Yeah. This definitely feels like they are taking more pages out of Three Houses' book than Engage's book. So I think you'll probably have stuff you're interested in here. September 17th. Pretty jazzed for that. That's there's not a lot of other games I care about coming out around then. So I get to just play some Fire Emblem, but I got to do it fast because then there's other games coming out in October that I care. I
know. Look, I think the Direct was really, really stacked, but I got to talk about Zelda.
Well, before you do, let's end on Zelda.
Okay.
Because Zelda's the most exciting thing for you, and maybe it's not for me, but I get it.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy Resonance.
Yeah, this looked awesome.
That's the last game I wanted to talk about. They're doing an HD 2D Final Fantasy, and it looks fucking rad.
It really does.
The way they are mixing the HD 2D pixel art with some like really pretty looking cutscenes that are full Final Fantasy looking graphics seems pretty cool. This seems like it is a turn-based RPG from what I saw. I didn't see anything that looked like active time battle in here, so that was always exciting to me. The trailer itself, like this initial trailer, I thought just looks fine. I spent most of the trailer going, I mean, this looks good, but does it really look any different than what's the game?
Project Triangle Strategy? Yeah, Octopath
is what I was thinking of. But yeah, Triangle Strategy fits in that too. Does this look anything? If this wasn't called Final Fantasy, would I be any more excited than I would be for those other games? And it's like, I don't know. It still looks pretty good. And then the trailer after the trailer, where they show off a bunch of previous Final Fantasy protagonists, and then you see that they all act as personas or emblem rings or whatever you want to call them, maybe even summons, and just, hey, everybody's here, Cloud's here, Terra's here, Noctis, like that's rad. It's cool. It is a little funny that they just shut down, what was it, like Brave Exvius or whatever, their mobile shit that kind of was doing this, and now they announced an HD 2D game that has some of that shit in there, but it's like a real video game and not mobile bullshit. So
I hate to break it to you, Cloud Strife showing up is like Anakin Skywalker showing up.
But you know what? I think that's fair. I think it's a fair point.
Yeah,
I'll cede that ground to you. But I still thought this was a pretty interesting game.
It looks really cool. I'll be playing the shit out of this.
Me too, and that comes out
October
22nd. So
that might be a birthday gift.
Don't
pre-order
it. Gift. Okay, I won't pre-order it. But
all right.
I'll need to finish a lot of Dynasty Warriors before that happens.
I'll get you a big Cloud statue.
Okay. All right, Bobby. Let's talk about the real meat for one of us here.
Look, this was a pretty poorly kept secret for Nintendo, and I'm sure that they wanted to come into this with a big, and they did. Like this was. It was a very cool thing. I know Kingdom Hearts 4 got a lot of people jazzed up. And that's
not us.
Not us, but for a lot of people probably thought that would be that's the closer, Kingdom Hearts 4. And then here comes Ocarina time. One, shout out to the Tapestry, because the Tapestry, they immortalized the poor fucker, the Kokiri, who couldn't lift the rock. He's right there. They put him in the Tapestry. Like, out of all the fucking kids, they put the dork who couldn't lift the rock from the village. So There is a very interesting art style here. I think a lot of people thought they were going to dip into like Breath of the Wild or maybe something that's more familiar, but they are going a whole new art direction. We know we're getting this year. You get the slightest peek at poor fairyless Link asleep in his hut, but
I mean, it's tough to tell the art style here because we really only get this
yeah.
image of Link.
Well,
and,
I mean, he's wearing very different clothes than he did at that point.
And it's dark, and so it's kind of tough to see exactly what this game will look like. But it looks good. My question, Bobby, I have played the first 40 minutes of Ocarina of Time like 20 different times, going over to friends' places. We've had this story before, but I've never finished Ocarina of Time. I have my Thor. I have this on my Switch for Switch Online. I have the 3DS version of this game that I never ended up playing. I have so many ways to play Ocarina of Time these days. Do you think, and this is a really unfair question because we haven't seen anything about this game outside of this little trailer, but do you think this might be in the same way that Persona 4 Revival might be the best way for you to experience Persona 4? Do you think this is going to be my best way to experience this, or should I just play the original?
Well, I think we have a few things that we can look at here. So Nintendo we've made this argument a few times, like 3DS stuff excluded, like those are just more like better fidelity than like the original. A Link to the Past is essentially what A Link Between Worlds was. Like A Link Between Worlds was a remix of that game. But then you have something like Link's Awakening, which is tried and true to that. Like that is 100% just a better looking version of the first game. There's nothing new in that, correct?
Nothing of real note. There's like a dungeon creator and some other little stuff in there.
Sure.
But like not any like story stuff.
I don't think that they're going to do this. Like, I don't know. Like, they could go a Final Fantasy VII approach and maybe change a few things up on it. If this is a remixed or a reinterpretation, like, I have a feeling this is going to be a very authentic remake. And if that's the case, I think this is probably the way for you to check it out. Some of that game, like, I've been playing this one on my Thor with mods and shit. It looks great. And I actually got it to play like a modern game with like 2 thumbsticks. That stuff feels great. But I don't know, man. Like I have a lot of different thoughts on this. Like I'm obviously excited. This is my favorite game of all time, but I'm also, and I'm not alone on this one. I don't think like this is not unique to me. A lot of people feel the same way I do about Ocarina of Time. This is a very big task that Nintendo's putting themselves up against. Like, not that other companies haven't remade, like people are just as precious about Final Fantasy VII, and we've seen both sides of that come out with what they're doing with this. I am over the moon to get to play this with my nephew and get to do that and like get to replay this myself. Like this is my favorite thing of all time. And I'm playing the first one or the original one right now, and it still holds up. So
yeah,
like
that's kind of my thought too, is that, I'm used to playing N64 games. I like Nintendo 64 games. The polygonal looking graphics of the original Ocarina of Time does not turn me off in the way that it might turn off some other people. So I'm perfectly fine playing that version. I guess the control stuff would worry me a little bit, hearing all the bad things about the water temple and shit like that. And I know like the 3DS version fixed some of that or made it easier, putting on the iron boots or whatever. So I still should probably just play original Ocarina of Time someday, regardless of whether I play this or not.
Yeah.
But I should also play Link to the Past for real at some point too.
I agree. I'll tell you, I think that this is going to be the first console variation that Nintendo puts out. I think that there's going to be new hardware for this thing, which Lord help me when that happens. But I'm very excited for this. I will be playing that. I will probably be taking some time off. I have a feeling this is the only game with the balls to go up against Grand Theft Auto. I think this comes out in November.
Yeah, I mean, Nintendo doesn't have to give a shit about Grand Theft Auto.
Not especially
Like,
with Ocarina of Time either. Like,
right, like that's not like those are. I mean, I'm sure there are people who will buy both, but like that is not a circle of a Venn diagram. In fact, that might be like two completely separate circles. Like they are fine. Like, Ocarina
they're
of
going to be
Time will
fine.
make its money. I do wonder if that will be a full price game in the same way that Star
Oh
Fox
yeah.
is a little discounted. I'm sure it will be, but it is a previous game that we have. And I'm also the same way that you are. I'm curious if that's going to be a game where they are trying to be very, very faithful to the original, or if it's just, hey, we've built the story out the same way and you get all the same items, but we've made the world a little bit different, or we added more verticality to some of the stuff. I saw one person on Blue Sky who I could not disagree with more, who said, what I want is just like everything's like the same. Like everything should be kind of the same, but I just want all the maps to be double the size. I'm like, that sounds stupid. I hate that idea.
Well, that's something I am curious about. Like, are they going to make this bigger? Like,
right.
Because they've got a big version of Hyrule with Breath of the Wild that they could take stuff from and make this feel like a bigger, because that, I mean, back then, dude, that was the thing that when you first get out to Hyrule Field, that felt like I can go anywhere. Like that was a really cool moment, but
it felt big despite being a relatively small area.
And that's the thing that I've been replaying. I'm just like, man, this is a fucking, I can get across this map in no time. But
and that is, I will say that is, I know we want to wrap it up, but that is one of the interesting things to me. It feels like we have gotten a bit of a shift from these remakes, the remakes and remasterings that we got, where it used to just kind of be, let's just throw out the thing that was there before and maybe make a couple changes to like gameplay and graphics. Like that's the things that people care about these days. And I think it's more interesting where some of these games have decided to go, well, what if we changed big parts of this game? Because the original's there. You can play the original and that experience is available to you. And we're going to try to do something a little bit different here. And that is a more interesting way for me to go and for me to get excited about these things, where it doesn't just feel like we are grasping at the same straws that we've had forever. And so that's exciting to me. It's the promise that I wanted out of something like Final Fantasy VII Remake that I don't really feel like we got. But it's that idea of if I can enjoy this brand new Ocarina of Time and also enjoy the old Ocarina of Time, and they feel like distinct experiences despite having connective tissue, that would be my ultimate. And we'll see if we actually get that or not. Persona 4 Revival seems like it's kind of going in a similar route. I know the Persona 3 Reloaded had some of that kind of vibe. I think there's a bit of that when it comes to something like Dynasty Warriors 3 Remastered, where we're seeing a mix of old and new that is being smashed together. I think there is some of that in Muramasa, which is mostly just a straight up port, but like, hey, here's some new content. Especially with Nintendo, the way they have done some of these ports and things in the past, like Super Mario 3D World, but it also had Bowser's Fury attached to it. So I'm interested to see how Nintendo goes, hey, yes, we are going to give you something old, but we are also going to give you something new as part of it to make it a bigger, more interesting package. Because I think that's the right way to go, especially when you have a service as Nintendo where you could say, you could play right now. You can play Ocarina of Time right now. Like, you don't have to wait for this. You could just play it. You don't have to wait till June 25th to play Star Fox. You can play Star Fox 64 right now. It's right there.
It's right there. Plus the demo. Hey, we took Monday off. We were not here for that. As I mentioned, it was my wife's birthday. We were out hanging out. And then tonight was our big Summer Games Fest recap. There's a lot of video games out there. There's a lot to celebrate. There's also a lot of
more of these on like next Monday, because I know there's like lots of other little streams that we didn't get to, like the Latin American.
Yeah, we can do. Stuff. I mean, I've got a bunch of demos from this too that we can check out. We got plenty of stuff. We got fights and check out fights. There's a lot that we can go into. So we'll be talking about it. There'll be more stuff trickling out. These are going longer, but if you're digging what we're doing, we've been doing it for a long time. You can check out more about that here. If I get this to work, there we go. That's all of our stuff there. Chase, what have you been up to, or what haven't you been up to?
Well, as I mentioned, I did a very stupid thing and looked at Marvel Superheroes Magic the Gathering common cards for 3+ hours as part of Common Knowledge, my Magic the Gathering Pauper YouTube show. That episode's out now. You can watch me be a fool. I did put timestamps in there if that helps anybody. You don't have to watch all 3 hours and 13 minutes. But that's still been fun. Every weekday there will be new episodes of Common Knowledge where I take a look at 10 common Magic the Gathering cards, tell you if they're in a good Pauper format or not, and then sometimes you get these bigger videos that also show up depending on the time. I also have Pilot Program, which records tomorrow. That's a podcast I do with Pierce Corshane, very good friend of the show. We're going to be covering the Mary Tyler Moore Show, which I'm really excited about. That was one I remember watching on Nick at Night, and that was something I don't think Pierce watched. So we get to talk about that one. I'm also very excited. We have episode 50 coming up after that, and that'll be a fun anniversary one. We usually do anime on the 10s, and this is a 10, and it's 50. So there's a lot of excitement about that hitting a big milestone. So I'm pretty excited about the show that we're watching for that and being able to present that to people. And then I also have my other YouTube channel, Chasey K Plays, where I am currently playing through Pokemon trading card game Generations for the Game Boy Color, but it's a ROM hack of it. That's been a heck of a lot of fun. Bobby helped me out with a very nice looking thumbnail for that. The series is called I'm Still Just a Bill, and that is, man, I am having so much fun going back to an old game with new stuff in it, as is the theme of tonight. Old games with new stuff in it. So go check that out too. All sorts of good shit going on.
Hell yeah. We'll be back on Monday with something probably related to what we've talked about tonight. Until then, take care of yourself, play something new, and we'll